Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is a review on the ACOTAR Roses series, or the ACOTAR series as a whole. I have done a review on the first one, which I rated 3.5 stars, which was a little low, I will say that, but I stand by it. I think it is a decent start to the series. It's a decent book, but it's not anything groundbreaking, as I said in that video. And then I don't know how to rate the next two books, because to me they sort of have blurred into one book together. I will say I didn't much enjoy the beginning of this book, just because one of the characters acting so different, I just couldn't really vibe with it fully. And this one really solved some of the issues that I was finding in this one, which I can't say without giving spoilers. But one of the characters showed some signs of things, and this sort of addresses that, let's just say that. So I think together I'd give them probably 4 stars each. But again, I can't remember them fully, like where things start and end and stuff. I mean, I know where they end, but just sort of a general thing, I guess. That's based on the fact that they are better than this one, so an extra half star, if I'm going only by half stars, makes sense. In my head, at least. Then we have the 4th book, Court of Frost and Starlight, which I have done a whole video on this. I'm not going to go into too much detail of it, but it doesn't need to be here fully. Like, there's a point to it, but it's such a different vibe from the rest, and I just didn't quite with it. I think I will reread this probably without the rest of the series, just to see if my views are still on with that. It is worse than this book, which I rated 3.5 stars, so I suppose I should rate it 3 or 2.5, but I can't decide. I think I'd have to reread it to really go by that. I did check reviews on Goodreads, and so far the way I've rated these are basically in line with Goodreads. I am a harsh rater. I will take that, I will say that. To me, 5-star means as soon as I finish reading it, I want to start reading it again, which is quite a high thing for a 5-star. I understand that. But to me, 5-star is perfect, and if I want to immediately start reading it again, you can't get better than that, right? Ratings, I feel, are sort of based on how much you want to reread them at some point. Yeah, 4.5 is like, I really want to reread this, not right now, but I will at some point reread this 100%, unless something happens, obviously. And 5-star is, I want to reread this now. So that's what I've based this on. But the Goodreads reviews do have, this is quite low compared to these two, and then this one quite a lot lower. If I remember correctly, all of the other 4 are rated 4 or above. I think this one's 4.17 on Goodreads, I can't remember for sure, and this one is rated a 3 point something. So that shows that, yeah. And I kind of didn't want to finish that, I almost DNF'd it, but I knew that it got better, and I wanted to see it through to the end. And this book, okay, there are so many things that I can say about this book. Obviously I don't want to do spoilers and stuff. I'm going to say a few things about the series as a whole first. First of all, I said in my review of the first one that there wasn't that much spice, and I've been told that there was a lot of spice, and I wasn't disappointed, but I was just a bit confused that people said there was a lot of spice and there wasn't. It gets spicier as you go along, which brings me to something I didn't say in the video about this, in that there is a scene mentioned, like it's talked about in the past, but like in the character's head, of something that is so impractical, and I just keep thinking about it all the time, because I'm like, that doesn't work, how does that work? And it really frustrated me, and it really started to feel like there was no point in the spice. until we get to this one, where there were points where I was like, okay, I get it, it's spicy, whatever, can we continue on now? But there was a point in it all. There was a reason for the spice that, like, it was plot driven. This book follows different characters from the rest of them. Like, these characters are in other books. This doesn't follow Feyre. She is in it, but she's not the main character in it. And I loved it. One thing before I'd read this that I didn't like about these books was that all of them are a court of something and something, which I don't particularly like the way those are titled anyway. But the fact that they're all a court of something and something, and then this one is a court of silver flames. Not silver and flames, silver flames. And I actually saw a video about rating series based on how well they look next to each other on a shelf or whatever. And all of these are just sort of one colour with the title and everything. And then there's this one that the title is a different like size on it, and it's got this little sweepy thing here, but I think that's sort of signalling that it could almost be the start of another series based in the same world, to the extent that I want to reread this at some point, not as part of the series. Just generally, I think I could just reread this by itself. I rated it a 4.5 because, going by the whole wanting to reread it, I would quite like to reread this at some point fairly soon, like within the next 2 years at least. It is a thick read at, is it 900 and something pages? No, it's 700 and something. Why do I have 900 in my head? It's 750 pages long, 51 pages, which makes it the longest in the series by far. I mean, the second longest is that one, and you can see that it's not as thick. I think it's the only one that I cracked the spine on. There's just a little bit of a crack there, and the others are all crack-free. There's a slight crack on that one. I don't really know what else to say. I just really enjoyed this one. If you're reading the series and you are struggling with this book, you could skip it if you're struggling that hard, but I would suggest still reading this book, whether you finish this book or not. I might be overselling it now. It might just be me that adores this book. I think the character development throughout the whole series is really good, but the character development and the storyline in this, and it introduces new characters that bring like a breath of fresh air. It's really refreshing to have all these new characters, because we've been following, I mean, there are new characters involved in these, but lots of them to me feel similar-ish in a way that the new characters in this do not at all. And the more I think about it, the more I want to reread this. I'm going to stop because I don't want to oversell it. I just want to say I really like this. It's possibly my second or third favourite book this year that I've read. And I've read around 20, I can't remember. There's that, the ones that are better than it or on par with it. The Sunrise on the Reaping is a 5 because I wanted to reread it straight away. And Tusk Love, I think I rated it a 4 in my review on the channel, but I really should have rated it a 4.5 because I keep thinking about it, and I'm really looking forward to rereading that at some point. So that's just a little sip of how I feel about this. Of course, me saying I think I've read about 20, there's 5 here, so take from that what you will. I hope you're enjoying the reading vlogs, because I do have a few more planned. If you're not, lie to me. No, don't lie to me. But yeah, I do also have some plans for some gaming videos as well. Still mostly Sims, or entirely Sims, I can't remember. But I've got a lot of reading vlogs planned. I really am enjoying reading right now, obviously. And I will leave it there. Please let me know your thoughts on these books, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, whether I have convinced you to read this book now. I'm totally not talking to a specific person whom I know watches these videos who's told me that she hasn't read this book. With that, I will probably leave you. I think it's the third time I've said that, but yeah. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to, and maybe you'll see me next one. Until then, bye.